If you feel self-conscious and bothered by what people think of you, take a walk with me. I want you to know that it's totally normal to care about what someone else thinks of you, especially in your sphere of influence. And if you don't know what that is, it's the people that you hang around with. For me, I often say it's the 15 feet around you, where a simple hello or an acknowledgement can make someone's day. Of course, this gets more complicated when we start talking about how people perceive you on social media. And this is because people often lose their filter that they have in real life on social media and say a lot of unhinged shit. These are things that they would never say in real life because they would be held accountable in person almost immediately. There's also a lot of fear and anxiety wrapped up in that because you mean I have to actually have a conversation with a real person? And on social media, you can control to some degree how much you are actually seen. You can hide behind a faceless profile or channel and take all your pain, anger, frustration, irritation, sadness, loneliness, and depression out on the video that triggered you the most. And sadly, that becomes a habit of coping. You need your next fix, and it's just never quite enough to satisfy you. And I want to remind you guys that you can ignore, block, and delete as often as you like. As Trent Shelton always says, protect your peace. I want you to ask yourself this. What would happen that if when you found a video that left you feeling emotionally activated, that you stopped and allowed yourself to sit with that for a few minutes before commenting or going off? And remember, if this is how you treat people on social media, it certainly leaves us to think it must be how you treat people in real life. So take the time to grab a notebook and a pen and allow yourself to sit with those thoughts, feelings, and emotions that are leaving you feeling uncomfortable. What is it that's actually bothering you? Is it the person, their demeanor, their tone of voice, the scenery, the topic, the subject matter, the quality or veracity of the information? And is this touching a core wound that you're just not ready to look at yet? And this is a lot of what cancel culture actually is. You're emotionally dysregulated and feel as though you've experienced a threat, real or imagined. Your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are absolutely valid to you. When you don't feel seen, heard, loved, or understood, your only recourse is what you feel that you have to lash out. We often lash out from the age in which we experienced the original hurt. It's why for so many people it can look like a temper tantrum or a meltdown. And you might not have the language for this yet, but it leaves you feeling emotionally immature in your process, the way you digest and make sense of complex ideas. And of course, what that means for you. Again, the key here is to sit with the uncertainty and to challenge those thoughts, feelings, and emotions that leave you feeling less than. Have a conversation with yourself and ask yourself, self, what historical facts or evidence can I provide to you in this moment? And you'll hear a lot of mindset gurus say, well, you're still here, aren't you? When you start collecting the evidence, you'll find that most of the things that you worry about, they never come true. They never happen. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, that's not always true. And you'd be right. But a lot of what we think can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Worry and think about something enough, and eventually you make it come true. That's how powerful your thoughts actually are. If you're a person of faith, then you know the word tells you to not be afraid, to surrender to God and give away your anxiety to Him and focus on the present moment and all the things that you can do and should be doing right now. And it's not that you don't plan or anticipate for the future, but you're giving away the worry and the anxiety to Him. The reality is, it's all too much for one person to handle. When you grant yourself access to this surrender, you'll know what I'm talking about. When you focus on and do all the things that you know that you should be doing, it has a compounding effect over long periods of time. Even if you're just going through the motions and you're showing up every day and you're making things happen, there is going to be a better end result and you'll improve on the quality of your life. If you do nothing, that's exactly what you're going to get. And if you're someone who creates content, I want you to remember this. I don't care about your boos because I know what makes you cheer. Don't allow echo chambers and groupthink to stop you from sharing your message. You must have the courage to be disliked and recognize that most people, they're not going to like you. I know it's easier said than done because you can't turn off your feelings. You can absolutely manage them and choose how you respond to the outside world. You just got to remember that everyone's messed up, everyone has insecurities. So I encourage you to find people that you admire, spend your time with them, and only take advice from them. Because judgment is often just projection. So go out there, tell your story, be strong, share a good message. And just remember that people have to live with themselves, but you don't have to live with them. Good luck.